it is time for some introvert time. It is time to catch up on our hobbies. It's time to catch up on our rest. And of course, it's time to catch up on our reading. So in this vlog, we're gonna be doing all things cozy. We're gonna cook and read and crochet and just overall have a very restful, cozy time. It's cold outside. It's warm in here. We have warm blankets, hot tea, all the cozy vibes for this vlog. I am so excited about the books we're gonna get into today. I have 2 cozy fantasy books picked out for today's video that I absolutely cannot wait to read. So without further ado, let's get into the vlog. Okay, welcome to my kitchen. I did change into my comfies. We are going to be doing some cooking first and foremost. I have been trying to work on eating more anti-inflammatory foods and just like healing my gut. So I'm going to be making a soup because soup is the coziest meal that I could think of. Also, that's what I was craving tonight anyway. And I went shopping today and I did pick up a butternut squash, and honestly, I don't know anything else to do with butternut squash other than make it into a soup. So we're gonna be making a butternut squash soup. I'm gonna be picking up Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I just got into Brandon Sanderson this year and I absolutely loved the original Mistborn trilogy, and I've been dying to pick something else up by him, but I was like, I want something else to kind of like break up the Mistborn things. I don't want to have to think super hard and start a whole new series, but I've heard that Tress is like the perfect Brandon Sanderson cozy fantasy, so I'm going to be picking up Tress of the Emerald Sea. It was available on Hoopla as an audiobook. If you guys don't use Hoopla already, I would highly recommend it. Unlike Libby, you don't have to wait for your book to become available. You have a certain number of borrows every month instead. I highly recommend seeing if your library has Hoopla, and if it does, like definitely use it. So I found it's available on audio on Hoopla. I'm going to be starting the audiobook of that while I work on my butternut squash soup. The way I'm making this soup is I went ahead and like peeled the butternut squash and like chopped it into like big chunks. This is gonna be like a blended soup, so I wasn't too worried about like making it super pretty or making the chunks very small, but it will cook faster in chunks and it will be so much easier to manage chopped up like that. The last time I did this soup, I kept it in the skin and literally burnt my hands trying to get it out of the skin to get into the blender for all of that. So I decided this time that I was gonna peel it first and then chop it up and then cook it like that, and then I'll just be able to like dump it into the blender and blend it all up. So I am making a butternut squash and sweet potato soup. So I have 2 sweet potatoes in there and then the full butternut squash. And I just chopped them up with some onion and garlic. And then I used cinnamon, cumin, salt and pepper, and then the chili lime seasoning from Trader Joe's. We'll see. I haven't used the chili lime seasoning for this recipe before, but it does call for chili powder. And I thought that like the chili lime would be really good. So I'm just gonna try it. We're gonna see how it goes. I don't know what the lime is gonna do for this soup because it's kind of like a cozy soup and there's like warm spices in there. So I don't know if the lime is gonna like throw it off, but I really wanted to try it. So we're just gonna try it. I don't have a plan for a meat or like a protein. I'm not really sure if I want to put a protein in this. I may just like eat something on the side with it. I'm not fully sure yet. Anyways, that's working on it. And then a little update on Tress of the Emerald Sea. I am 10% in and I am really enjoying this book. I had no expectations going in, except there's a blurb on the back of the book that says for fans of The Princess Bride.
Is this a kissing book?
I absolutely love The Princess Bride. I grew up on that movie. It's my dad's favorite movie, like of all time. And so I was already just sold. Like, yeah, this is 100% what we're reading. These are the vibes. I want the storybook fairy tale, like fun, cozy vibes of The Princess Bride. And it is delivering. There's a romance right off the bat. It's like a forbidden love situation. Sorry, that kind of scared me. I think it was just my timer telling me that there's 10 minutes left. Anyways, the setup of the story is a forbidden love between two main characters who become separated. It's the son of a king who is like being pulled away to go, you know, have to marry a princess, and then the daughter of like a shoemaker or something. I'm not sure exactly what the profession of the family is, but I know it's like a trade and they are not very wealthy. Like they very much are in very different classes. So it is like forbidden love. He is like sent away and then something happens and he doesn't come back, and she basically is like, I need to go save him. Like, I've realized that this is the love of my life and he's in trouble. I need to go rescue him. This is one of those where it's like, you don't have to have the context of anything else in the Cosmere. You're not really gonna get anything spoiled for you about the Cosmere, because this is like, stands on its own. Like, it's not really a part of anything else that's going on in the bigger picture of Brandon Sanderson's universe, but it's a good way for you to kind of get acquainted with his writing. One of the things I just absolutely love that I wasn't expecting about Brandon Sanderson is how he writes characters. There is just nothing better than getting to know a character through a really exciting and adventurous story that still highlights that character's growth and their development and who they are as a person and how they grow and change through their surroundings. If a book doesn't have good character development, I usually won't like it very much. The way he writes is just absolutely incredible. So I was ready for something else. But like I said at the beginning of this video, I wanted things to feel very cozy and comforting and just like a warm blanket, you know, like I want it to feel like a warm hug. And so I feel like this was the perfect like in between. It's a cozy story about a girl who is fighting for the love of her life, fighting to save the love of her life. And the characters are so precious. Like from the very beginning, I was like, oh my gosh, I think these are some of the cutest characters that I've ever read. Like, feels similar to reading about Emily Wilde. These characters are just the most precious and sweet, and I just want to protect them with everything that I have. I'm going to apologize for the quality of this clip, but I could not be bothered in this moment to fix it. Tonight's cozy hobby is going to be crocheting. I made these granny squares like a year ago and I never did anything with them. And I pulled out my bag to crochet and realized that all I have in there are a bunch of granny squares and like one half completed something that's like attached to the ball of yarn and no other yarn. So I decided that instead of trying to like start a brand new thing, I would just try to learn how to put my granny squares together. So I did just watch a video on how to do it, so I'm feeling like pretty good. I don't have a crochet needle, all I have are embroidery needles, so I decided not to go with like the needle method of attaching the granny squares together. Instead, I'm going with, I forget what it's called, like slip something method, where basically you use like your embroidery hook and you like do it that way. I am just really hoping that these granny squares were made correctly so that I have an equal number of whatever you call it. I don't even know the right word for it. You know what I mean? I am very excited to keep on listening to Tress and to just sit here and do my little cozy crocheting. This book has me absolutely cackling. I was not at all expecting this to be funny. I knew that Brandon Sanderson like had a good sense of humor, and I knew from like Mistborn that like he was witty, and there's like parts of Mistborn that are funny, and like some of the characters in Mistborn are really funny. But in Tress, the narrator is a character in the story, and he's like very much off his rocker, and just the way that he tells the story is just so funny. I was like quite literally cackling out loud at this line. And it's not even that it was like anything super crazy, but like he kind of like breaks the third wall and talks a lot about like storytelling to the audience. The main character learns new information, right? And the narrator is like, and now she does something completely unheard of. She chooses not to jump to conclusions. Like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. I just feel like it's so quirky and cute, and the narrative is just, the narrator is an icon, like an absolute icon. There's a character in this that is a specific type of species that like we know is not like a normal human, and they kind of describe him as like a zombie in this, but there was a species in the Mistborn trilogy that are like low-key kind of like zombies, and I'm seeing like some parallels between this character and like the species that we know about from the Mistborn trilogy, and I'm like, is it the same? Are you giving us like Easter eggs from the other universes? And we know that like this character is not from the same like world as Tress, so I'm like, are we getting little like breadcrumbs? I am very much enjoying the writing style of this book, and just like the storytelling in general. I feel like it's just so good. Also, I'm feeling so cozy over here. I originally started crocheting on the couch, and I just had this realization that the couch was just not gonna do it because I literally couldn't see. Like there was just not enough light over there. So we moved to the table. I'm feeling good about this. For my first ever time like connecting granny squares, I feel like this is going well. Welcome back to my kitchen table. I made like a little, I just like sewed only these two directions, and I didn't sew this one on so that it could be like a little flap. And I want to get a button for it, and so it'll close like this. I'm gonna make a second one, or sew a second one together, and I'm gonna gift these to a couple of my book girly besties for as like part of their Christmas gift. I am almost halfway into Tress of the Emerald Sea, and I am absolutely having the time of my life. I am enjoying it so much. I'm so interested in Tress as a character. I would say like so far from, you know, where I'm at, if you like Daughter of the Pirate King, if you like Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, if you are a fan of like cozy fantasy that still has like some stakes but is also like humorous with like cute characters, this is definitely going to be the book for you. I really am having so much fun reading it and just going on this little adventure with Tress. It's so fun, but I can't wait to keep listening. One more crochet update. I made like this thing that I don't even know, I didn't know what it was when I was making it, and I found it, and it was like still just like this, but with both sides open. And so I did end up like sewing the bottom shut now that I have learned how to do that. And I'm considering like trying to turn it into a bag, because I think it would make for like a cute little tote bag type situation. I do think that that was what I was originally going for when I started making this, was like a tote bag situation. So we'll see. I might try to put like straps on it or something, I'm not sure. And I'm not sure if I'll do that in this video, but I just thought I would show you since it was sitting right here. I'm going to get back to my book and sew together my second little Kindle sleeve. Good morning. I did finish Tress of the Emerald Sea. I'm going to wait to give you my final thoughts and review until the end of this video. So stay tuned. I am up extra early this morning. It's actually only just after 7 and I've already gotten in about an hour of like quiet time with my Bible, so I'm feeling so good. This is not a normal thing for me. I had to get up early to take my dad to the airport, so I just figured I would take advantage of the time by getting some extra Bible time in and setting aside some time this morning to read. So I did go to Barnes & Noble yesterday and I picked up Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands. I hadn't bought it yet, but I'd been eyeing it for like almost a year since I finished the first book. So this is the next book we're going to be reading in this video. I picked up the first one, the Encyclopedia of Fairies, in January of this year, of 2025, and it's now December, so I feel like it's just such a great way to like close out the year is by continuing a series that I started this year. So I'm very, very excited to pick this book up and just kind of get back into this little world, get back into spending time with Emily Wilde and her adorable companions. This is just the perfect cozy fantasy series, and I know that, and I've only read the first book, but everyone that I've seen talk about it says that like the series continues to just stay so sweet and cozy and fun. There are stakes in this series. It's just not like super intense, I would say. Same for Tress. There are definitely stakes in Tress of the Emerald Sea, but it's not like anything super insane or like really intense. Like it's relatively like, I don't know, it's like there's some situations that are somewhat high stakes, but it's not like, oh my gosh, my pulse is rushing. Like I hope everything's gonna be okay. Like it's one of those where like I know everything's gonna be okay. And it's just a fun little adventure. I'm gonna get into some reading probably for the next like hour or so. So let's go ahead and start Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands. I am 100 pages into Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands, I think is what it's called. and I am honestly having the time of my life. I'm having so much fun. I missed Emily and her little gang of adorable friends so much. I missed just being in her world and hanging out with like her quirky little self. I recently realized how much I adore cozy fantasy. It's such a safe bet for me to pick up a cozy fantasy because I know that like 9 times out of 10 it's not gonna be like super crazy. There's usually not a whole lot of like spice or anything like that, and it just tends to be like such a fun time. I read Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies in January of 2025, and I don't know why it took me so long to pick up Emily's Map of the Other Lands. I think probably because they are so slow that sometimes it can feel like I'm not like getting through it at a pace that I would like to, but the whole point of this video is to slow down and to have like a slow, cozy time. And so in order to do that, I obviously need to read books that are a little bit slower and just a little like give me more of like an appreciation for like taking my time in a story and like getting to know the characters. I feel like this series just does that so well, where like I genuinely have so much time with these characters that I feel like I can really get to know them and like really appreciate like who they are and their little like quirks and things. When you spend very little time on like a variety of things with that character, you don't get to know any other elements of their personality. You just know those like 1 or 2 elements that are super relative to that specific plot. Versus when you take your time and like how Emily Wilde's is written, you are very much taking your time with these characters. You're seeing them in multiple different situations. Some of them are higher stakes, so you're getting like some more personality of how they respond to high stress situations. But a lot of them are not very, like a lot of the scenes are not very high stakes. Like we are just watching them like sit and like make tea and like have little banter in the evenings at their cabin, or like they're at school and they're chatting about like whatever it is that has been going on in their department. Like we're seeing so many different elements of their personality that you just wouldn't get if you were like moving quickly through the story. That whole long tangent was pretty much just to say that I am very much enjoying Emily Wilde's. I just feel so like cozy and comforted being back into their little world. I am gonna be like carrying this vlog on into January because it's taking me a lot longer to do this than I thought it was going to, but you know, that's okay. We can keep the cozy vibes going on into the next month. I'm gonna stop yapping and I will check in with you guys when I'm a little bit further into Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands. This has never before been attempted by me. We're gonna be trying to use our fireplace. I am home alone, and sometimes when I'm home alone, I come up with crazy ideas of things that I want to do and try. And we did just get a fireplace set for Christmas, and wood and an ash bucket, and it's like 30 degrees outside and I'm cold and I want to use this fireplace so bad. What my dad said was that I need to light a piece of paper on fire inside of the fireplace, and that would like do something, open it up or something. This is actually terrifying. All the smoke is going up, so that's a good sign. We're just gonna put one log in for right now and like some fire starter. Why is this so scary actually? Should I go get the fire extinguisher? No, we're gonna trust that it's gonna be okay. Am I supposed to close that door? I don't really know. I'm just a girl. The fire starter has like a very big flame going on right now. I'm trying to get the little one to like light. Oh, let's not touch the flame. Oh my gosh, why is this so much harder than just using my hands? The little one looks like it caught. Whoa. Let's not light the house on fire. What's really funny is that my husband works for the fire department. So like, it very much goes against all of his knowledge and training for me to be lighting a fire indoors. I did tell him that I was doing this before I did it, and he just told me just not to light the house on fire. So I think I'm following instructions quite well. Do you hear that crackle? I think I just blew it out. Well, that's what I get for being too excited. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a fire. I see like the wood actually looks like it's burning at this point. It's not just my magazine paper. We're proud of her. Hopefully as I do this more, I will get better at lighting it without needing an entire magazine and a bajillion leaves, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm just really proud of myself that I actually lit this thing all by myself and that I was brave enough to try it all by myself, because this could have gone very poorly. I think I'm gonna read by the fire. That's so exciting. Welcome to my floor. I am just having the coziest, comfiest little time. I've pushed my couch all the way out so that I could lean up against it and still be like close to the fire. The fire is like absolutely popping off right now. I am a little over 150 pages into Emily Wilde's, and I just love this book so much. I have to say, I really enjoy the characters in this book, the atmosphere in this book. The cozy vibes are like perfect for the vibes that I have going on in here right now. The place that the characters are staying, they are like lighting a fire to keep warm at night, and so there have been a couple times where Emily is like up early and she's like, the fire is down to its embers, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's sitting by the fire, I'm sitting by the fire. What a fun cozy time. I cannot ask for anything better. I do need to turn you guys around because you need to hear this fire. First of all, look at her, she's beautiful. Second of all, I'm just gonna get a little bit more reading done, and we're just gonna keep having a fun, cozy time. Our time is coming to an end for today's video, and as promised, I do have my thoughts, reviews, and ratings for the 2 cozy books that we read in today's video. So first, we did read Tress of the Emerald Sea, and I did end up giving this book a 5-star. As you guys probably could have guessed by my reactions and just my thoughts as I was reading the book, I absolutely loved this book. It was so cute and cozy. The characters were so sweet and precious. The storyline was fast-paced. The plot kept me so engaged, but also the characters were just so sweet, and I connected so well to them, and I really, really cared about them and their growth, and I just overall loved this book so much. I would highly recommend it in the reading order I read it in too. I read Mistborn Era 1 first, and then I read Tress. Some people say that you can start with Brandon Sanderson with Tress of the Emerald Sea, and that is definitely true. I think it would be a good introduction book to Brandon Sanderson. However, it was really nice already kind of knowing his writing and also knowing a little bit about the Mistborn world before reading Tress of the Emerald Sea, because I feel like it gave me a little bit of a window into some things that were going on that I wouldn't have understood if I hadn't read Mistborn Era 1. And I'm sure there's still other stuff that I'm missing. I've heard that there's lots of breadcrumbs in all of Brandon Sanderson's secret projects, but I did pick up on a couple of things just because I had already read Mistborn, so I definitely really enjoyed my reading experience for that reason. Then I read Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands, and I really, really enjoyed this one as well. I ended up giving it a 4.25. This was just such a cozy time. I felt like the first half of the book was quite slow though, and that's why it wasn't quite as high for me as I anticipated. It still was an incredible read with an incredibly high rating. I just really had a little bit of trouble getting into the plot and getting really engaged in like what was actually going on and like caring a lot about what was actually going on until about a little before halfway through the book. I was gonna read beginning to end no matter what, because from the first book I was already invested in what these characters were going through, but there was that little bit of a second book slump feeling where the plot kind of like slowed down and we were really spending a lot of time on little details, which is true of Emily Wilde's in general. We spend a lot of time on the details. It's Emily's journal entries, and she's a scientist, like she has a scientific brain. So a lot of them are very in-depth and detailed. We are really reading her findings and the things that she's discovering as she's discovering them, but then also seeing a little window into her emotional life as well. I just really love how these books are written, and I love the characters. I think that they are just so precious, and I want to protect them with everything that I have. So I did really enjoy this one, and I will say the plot did pick up quite a bit in the second half, and there's some really interesting stuff happening now that make me really excited to pick up the third book. So I did end up really enjoying Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands and the third book, The Compendium of Lost Tales.
is already out as well, so I definitely will be picking that one up very soon because I can't wait to see how Emily's little adventure continues in the next one. Overall, this was a great reading experience, a great just cozy time, a great way to start 2026 with just some soft life kind of things and some slowing down and just being really intentional with my time to just like spend time in rest. I feel like so often we rush into the new year with so much speed and momentum, and we set all these goals and we just run at full speed into January. And it was really nice to be able to just take some time and actually just slow down, be intentional, and take some time to myself to enjoy my hobbies and just catch up on some things that I didn't get to do during the holiday season because life was just so busy. So sometimes it's nice to just like embrace the slowness a little bit, embrace the inside time, and like just lean into some of these hobbies and things that we don't always do when it's like busy and nice out. I'm gonna end off this video here. Thank you guys so much for spending a little bit of your time with me this week. This one was so fun to do, and I will see you again next time for another new video. Have a great day. Bye.